Obviously, I know that, from my experience, working within with the civic organizations like the Lions, the Elks, the Rotary, and making those connections in the community, it sort of like snowballs into the wider community.
I think more directly to reaching to adults. Anytime you're in the schools, you have a conduit to the parents. Kids will bring things home to their parents whether they want to or not, and not even knowing most of the time, which is key. The second component to getting the adult population is the media. We're fortunate to have WYNY Radio. We're fortunate to have the Putnam Town Crier, local newspaper, the Villager, as everybody does. We've done media campaigns through billboards as well as television ads. And then afterwards, we struggle, and we continue to struggle with how to tell if that campaign has been successful. How can we reach adults? Because we can't just go to the school and give them surveys. So we do a number of things. We do give surveys to parents through school children. We take out ads in the local papers, the Shopper's Guide, and we enter respondents into drawings for iPods or iPads or whatever the electronic gadget du jour is, to get them willing to participate. We talk to people, and it's become easier over the last several years because of the name recognition. We didn't have a logo, a nice logo, until a couple of years ago. And again, that was from a member of our business community, the Putnam Business Association. She designed a half a dozen of them. We voted on 3. They took another one and wrote it down. It is the identical logo, other than the Putnam Pride is in blue instead of Walter in green. We've got the blue. It's the same logo, and it's identifiable. People see it. They know what it is. They know who we are. They know what we're doing. But it's a time commitment, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that gradually takes place. Steve, before he left, said it's a huge process, and it is. But the basis for that process is the foundation. And once you get that foundation set and start building up, just like when you build your homes, everything falls into place. It gets easier as time goes on, and you'll find it.
Thank you.
I got the Putnam Pride magnets on my car. I have the same, not the green ones, but the Putnam Pride ones. And we have parents who will go to certain events, whether it's a sporting event or an event in town, and they'll put the magnets on their car. So we have like a rolling billboard constantly reminding people what Putnam Pride is. Yeah, and all of our giveaways over there. A lot of our campaigns are based on things that we give away in the community.
Yeah, after the meeting, there's newsletters, brochures, so you can see what a coalition does, and then all our little swag bag stuff. But that's all up there. Feel free to take it or whatever.
It's not like the Oscars. It's not $166,000 bag.
But this is all, this is what you can do. And the first thing is branding yourselves. And one of the other first steps you're going to have to do is a needs assessment of the community, because everything that you want to do is going to have to be evidence-based, and you're going to have to show the need. You're going to have to show that there's a community readiness to get this project going, and it's going to start with all those 12 sectors that we keep talking about. They have to come back to the table with data that's from their sector saying that there's a need in Griswold.
And I want to point quickly something out, just so you guys know. The gentleman holding the camera back there, he just opened a AM radio station in town, 1690 Wolverine Radio. Mike, I gave you a form. You're going to fill it out. All right, good. and key component. It's no secret. I did my homework before. I didn't do my homework in high school, obviously, but I did it when I got into this job, and I know what Putnam's done to make it work. And that's why I was hugely excited when Mike and I got a chance to talk about his radio station. And when did you start this?
Yesterday.
How many months ago?
About 3 months ago.
3 months ago, and he's already, got a show streaming live on mygriswold.com, and that sounds like I'm working for the station. And 69, and it's a low frequency radio. It's a project that you can do locally, and this isn't really the forum to give you the whole thing on his business plan, but there we go. We have one other sector covered. Okay, and the state police were the first ones to fill out the application. I think that speaks volumes that your committee to be involved with this project, so thank you for doing that. And we'll get some of those forms in and start to figure out exactly where that sector goes. I think you touched on it. This is where it starts. We're not built yet, but we start the building process right here. I think we were anticipating coming here tonight and it had a little bit of a thought about a different plan. I'm gonna be quite honest. I thought we were gonna sort of get this model rolling tonight. Unfortunately, in the newspaper, no offense, Norwich Bulletin, there was an article in the paper recently, like there's been a lot of coverage, and I think a lot of people here probably were made aware of, and you know what? It was not a good topic, but it also spread the word about what we're doing here tonight, so we'll take that for what it is, and we do appreciate you. The Bulletin does cover us, and you know, unfortunately, I think the papers get a bad rap sometimes because you're writing about, you know, the negative often. But writing about this is going to be a positive in my book. You know, you're gonna write. Hopefully, you're gonna write, right? Good. But I know some cops in here. You don't get out unless you commit to write the next story tonight. Right? Guys, get the door. He's not in. But this will be a positive. This is something we're taking. You know what? We're taking the topic on. We're getting a game plan together, and we're going to build that coalition to not ultimately solve the problem, because we're never going to do that. But we're going to hopefully save some lives and save a community, you know, and that's what it's about. And so I'm sort of wrapping things up, and, you know, what do you got to say?
No, I mean, for those of you who have the packets, like you said, we were going with a different direction for the meeting, but just take a look at the strategic prevention framework, because that's what the coalition will be modeled after. So there's 5 steps. Like I said, the first step that we're going to work on is the assessment, and then we're going to build the capacity. And then, you know, months down the road, we're going to look at the planning and the implementation of activities, and then eventually evaluation. But there's just a little roadmap for you guys to familiarize yourself on how this coalition is going to run, because it has to be run this way to get grant funding.
And just so you all know, and you should be happy about this, I'm a little scatterbrained at time, I'll admit it. You know, I think of a lot of stuff. I want to do a lot of things in a short amount of time. And my wife reminds me of that all the time. And I certainly want to see successes happen. But you got to get a good team, right? And that's one thing I emphasize, the good team. And I think we still got a commitment, right, even after tonight? Okay, good. So I'm confident in having this team back us, that this is going to, you know, be a reality and be successful here in our town. And so I mean, again, that's just, we're so fortunate to have that. Quick questions before we depart. I did hand out some forms. If you can fill them out and make sure you have your email address on there, we'll take it back. Yes, John?
Maybe I missed something, but
Yes.
what are the 12 steps?
Well, there's 12 sectors. If you look at your paper I gave you, there's
Yeah, I got
12, there's 12 different. John Conley is with our borough, actually running for borough warden, if anyone's interested in voting for him, upcoming election, and was a teacher here in town. So, this other form I gave you?
The 12 sectors are youth, parent,
okay.
business, media, school, youth serving organization, law enforcement, religious, civic groups, health cares, government, and then substance abuse treatment agencies.
Do you have any more package yet? Sorry. We hand some of these packages out for, you know, pass them around, whoever didn't get them. Any other questions that anyone has before we depart? Yes, sir, Mr. Gear. Wait a minute, Mr. Gear just celebrated what? 90th birthday. God bless you. Happy birthday.
When you ride around, you see a drug deal going on. You know it's a drug deal going on.
Yep.
Should we call 911 and report that or not?
I'm gonna
Absolutely, 100%. Pick up the phone. Like the old saying goes, you see something, you say something.
So yes is the answer, Mr. Gear.
Drop a dime on them.
Yeah. You know, in a lot of ways, you know, some people are reluctant. That's a great question you ask, because some people are really nervous about making that call. I don't want to get involved. I'm looking this way.
When you call the police, you're okay. When you call a private citizen, you get scared.
Yes, exactly. So call 911 and they will come.
The police would back it up and do something.
Yes. Yes. So
And that's one of the things you have to remember. Everybody always says, I see this, I see this. Nobody's doing anything about it.
Yep.
Well, unless you tell somebody, nobody's going to do anything about it. So you got to let us know.
Now, supposing you're thinking that something's going wrong, and then you call the cops and
We'll
it
come
doesn't
and check it
matter?
out.
we'll check it out. You know what?
Check it out.
Use your gut instinct.
If the person's not doing anything wrong, we say we're sorry, we got a call, and we move on.
That's right.
So,
So, yeah, that's a good point you bring up. Anyone else have anything quick before we wrap up?
Excuse me, there are
Yes,
13.
excuse me?
The other. The other.
Told you he was a teacher. He did a great job teaching.
Math.
You passed the test, buddy. There's 30.
Count one.
Did you teach math, John? Yeah.
That other one is, we make the choice in that, John, and you were gonna be the choice you got. So. Anybody else got any, yes, Father?
What are the next concrete steps for us moving forward?
Okay, so we need to set a meeting date, and those people that are committed to being a part of it, we have some signatures, and, so.
And what's going to happen at the next meeting?
We're probably gonna go over this outline that we didn't do tonight, because we sort of got more into a rollout informational tonight, but if you have it in the packet, we're gonna stay on that outline and form the committee.
Well, the packet that you gave us is just the
Some of them,
agenda,
some of them have more, some of them have.
Yeah, but even the outline's on the front though, right? That's the one with
just the agenda, yeah.
So we're gonna look, at the next meeting, we're gonna look at, the structure, the leadership structure of how we want the coalition to run. Like I said, we're gonna, give homework to all the members, the data collection and the needs assessment. And, I guess those are our big things. We gotta come up with a mission statement, goals, like short-term, long-term goals, but I've been working on a long-term, or an action plan for this year that I can bring, as a draft to the next coalition meeting, just so we have some kind of structure and focus to work on.
Correct.
That's a
So
good idea, thanks.
March 26th is if that date works for anyone else who would be involved, March 26th. And is 5 p.m. good for people, or is that a bad time? Too early? 6 o'clock better?
Yeah.
We can do 6 o'clock, and we can, either we'll be in here, or we'll find another location, and we'll notice you all. We need the emails, though. Pardon me?
Is that a Thursday?
That is a Thursday, exactly, the 26th of March. Is that a good day or bad day? Okay, good.
I
So,
got a question.
yes.
Please convince me to ask this. Does Putnam, and I'm not trying to be derogatory or anything, does Putnam have a stable environment? I mean, populace, or do they have a lot of transits that move in and out of?
We are, I think Putnam is unique in that I view us as a microcosm of a big city. We have a vibrant downtown area, we have some poor demographics, we have a lot of low-income housing because of the old mill housing, we have a federally subsidized housing project, we have working-class neighborhoods, and then we have a more affluent area outside the special services district in East Putnam, with some farmland and some really nice homes. The community does have a transient population, but I think for the most part it's fairly stable. Those that do come and go are probably very similar to the ones that come and go to your town.
Do you have a lot of absentee landlords?
Yes, we have a tremendous amount of absentee.
see a connection?
Would you feel that contributes to your problems?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I mean, we're fortunate as a town that in the last several years we've had some people put in places in positions. Delphi Very comes to mind, our economic development director, who's done an outstanding job. We've taken some time to rewrite some ordinance and to draft, put into place a blight ordinance, which is still a work in progress. It has some issues that we didn't anticipate when we started the process, and we need to clean it up and address it. But I think as overall, our community has taken a great deal of pride in what's happened with our downtown area. I can't tell you why our downtown has been as successful as it is. I can say that the Putnam Business Association is a great organization, and very much like Pride, there's a lot of different ideas, but people work really, really well together because they see the goal. They all have a common goal, and many of them disagree on what the proper way to achieve that goal is, but once a decision is made, they all work towards that goal despite their differences. And you don't see that a lot. You don't see it, I don't see it in my organization, the police department sometimes. I know that sometimes the state police don't see it in the organization. It's a unique quality, we're blessed to have it. But again, it's
I
a
think
work in
it's
progress.
making believers and seeing that reality happen. I mean, you go on our main street and you see orange cones there, and we had a grant that fell through. People haven't seen it done yet, and I don't blame it. I mean, you become apathetic with the situation, right? It's not getting done, we're looking like the same old Main Street. So we have to, as a community, to kind of tie into what you're saying, Lee, is we need to convince as well and work on those, cleaning up those locations. So kind of all ties together when we talk about it.
I mean, I guess the best advice I can think of is you're gonna have failures, you're gonna have programs, you're gonna have things that you try that don't work. Learn from them and forget about them, have a short memory and focus on the things that you do well and the positive things, and try to change the things that you haven't done well, and it'll come together, right? I mean, you've got great leadership at the helm. You've got Miranda on board, which is a huge thing because she's been through this before. She's a huge part of our success. I don't think that we would be as successful if we didn't have her and John on our coalition. They've worked, they do a tremendous amount of work, and they dedicate a great amount of time. And you're very, very fortunate to have her. I think that you're going in the right direction.
And we got her at the right price.
However, I do have my mission statement, that is coming in the front.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. So as we wrap it up, any other final thoughts, anything, the 26th, 6 o'clock, if we need your emails to do this, you have forms, fill them out, get those emails on them, we'll collect them, we'll make sure we get you on an email list and notify
You
everyone.
guys will get sick of me emailing you.
Just one more question. How long before you notice the turnaround?
I'll want that. You know what? It's a gradual thing.
Gradual thing?
You're not gonna notice it. You're gonna wake up one day. And I didn't realize it until today. I sat in my office at the end of the day, and I got online, and I looked at our website, and I looked at a list of things that I thought of over the course of the last week that we had accomplished. Then I looked at the website, and I said, I didn't think of that, I didn't think of that, I didn't think of that. And then I looked at things that we had put in a grant, and Miranda emailed me a list. Basically, I said, holy crap, we've done a lot over the last 9 years that you don't realize you've done. And you wake up one day and you go, we've accomplished a lot. You may not notice the little things.
But they build up over a period of
When you wake
time.
up one morning and you go, boy, we've been really, really successful in our.
It's like a diet, you know, you don't notice till you're done, diet, I mean, come on. You gotta go through the whole process, and you're hungry until it's done. So, it's simple.
I make the
It
mistake.
works though, right?
Scale every day.
I'm starving right now. I don't diet, but anybody else have anything as we wrap up, like just?
That's one thing though, we should provide food, we're always gonna get
Yeah, we'll get some definite, the next one we'll make sure we have Aramoti's donuts, maybe that will be a good first. So I thank everyone for coming out tonight, really this is huge, and let's change our community together, thank you, have a good night.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.